Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Pariprajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Pariprajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adigor Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you on the most auspicious occasion of Sri Gaur Purnima, the appearance day of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. The original personality of Godhead is Krishna. He is the cause of all causes and the origin of all that be. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna although he is perfect and complete, he felt that there were aspects of himself that he could not experience from the position of Krishna. And he wanted to experience them. As Srimati Radharani experiences them. Of course, Srimati Radharani is the first expansion of Krishna on the side of his energies, or Shaktis. And she is the greatest lover of Krishna. So Krishna thought, I can experience these features of myself only from the position of Srimati Radharani. And so he assumed her mood, her sentiments, her bhava, and also her complexion, golden complexion. And he appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So there's one very important verse that was composed by Lord Chaitanya's most confidential associate, Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, that explains this intimate fact. These are actually quite high topics, but I think after all the kirtan and abhishek, you're pretty high. So I will read this. This appears as the fifth verse of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it is repeated by the author, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in the Adi Lila 4th chapter. So I'll read this. Well, first we'll please repeat. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this is repeated here, Adi Lila chapter 4, text 230. Translation. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love. This is the first reason. The wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, the second reason, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. So these are the, you could say, the internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya's descent. And the external reasons, as explained in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, is that the time had come for the incarnation of the age to appear and to promulgate the method of self-realization for that age. So, as many of you know, there are 4 ages that repeat in cycles, like the 4 seasons. There's Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And Lord Krishna appears at the end of Dwapara Yuga. But not every Dwapara Yuga, just once in 1,000. And in the Kali Yuga, after the Dwapara Yuga in which Krishna appears, Lord Chaitanya appears. And we've heard about the internal reasons for his descent, and the external reasons were to propagate the Yuga Dharma for the present age of Kali. And who knows what is the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga? Yes, Harinam Sankirtan. The chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya, as Srila Prabhupada writes in the introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, in his brief life sketch of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya was also the ideal preacher of Srimad Bhagavatam. And therefore, along with the chanting of the holy names, we also hear Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, the entire process of bhakti yoga that we follow in ISKCON is really coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every element of our practice is coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who instructed the science of bhakti yoga to Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Rupa Goswami in turn recorded those instructions with evidence from various revealed scriptures in his main book, which is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Srila Prabhupada has given us a summary study of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the form of the nectar of devotion. So all of this is coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Srila Prabhupada has adjusted those teachings to make them more accessible to us. I will give an example. When Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, he, of course, many devotees wanted to invite him to their places for prasad. So Lord Chaitanya said that I will take prasad only in the home of a lakpati. Lak means 100,000. Pati means one who owns or controls. So the Brahmins became very worried that what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying? We're just poor devotees. We don't have a lack of rupees. And then Lord Chaitanya clarified that he doesn't mean someone who has a lack of rupees. He means someone who chants a lack of names every day. So a lack of names is 64 rounds. Now, I can't say for sure, but probably not many of us chant 64 rounds a day. And Srila Prabhupada, this is the point I'm making, that he took whatever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, but he made some adjustments for us. So for us, he made the minimum number of rounds per day 16. And in one purport, I believe in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada says that according to his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, anyone who does not chant 64 rounds a day is considered fallen, patita. But then Srila Prabhupada says, because we, meaning us, his disciples, his followers, because we are endeavoring our best to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is confident that Lord Chaitanya, even though we're considered patita, fallen, because we're not chanting 64 rounds, but he's confident that Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Patita Pavan, will accept us. And we certainly have full faith and confidence that by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted us, is accepting us, and is engaging us in service in the Sankirtan movement. Now, Lord Chaitanya of course, gave many instructions. But I will mention one instruction that he gave 3 times, and which is important for us. They're all important, but this one strikes me as especially important. So every year, his devotees, means after he, he displayed his pastimes for 48 years, and for the first 24 years he was in Navadvip, Mayapur. For the next 6 years, he traveled throughout India and spread the Sankirtan movement. And then for the last 18 years, he was in Jagannath Puri. And in Jagannath Puri, he manifested the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani in separation from Krishna. That same ecstasy of separation that Srimati Radharani experienced in Vrindavan after Krishna left for Mathura and Dwarka, that same ecstasy was manifested by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And this mood of separation is very central to Krishna consciousness. From Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on down through his immediate disciples, the 6 Goswamis. At one Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, a sort of devotee, not a ISKCON devotee, but someone who was like a devotee, came to our camp, and he met some of Prabhupada's disciples, and he was basically following the regulated principles that we follow and chanting Hare Krishna. And we couldn't introduce him to Srila Prabhupada at that time, but afterwards we told Srila Prabhupada about him. And Prabhupada listened. He seemed to be approving, but then we told him that the man had said that he had seen Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada replied, "This is not our mood. That, I've seen Krishna," like such a cheap thing that I've seen Krishna. But our mood is the mood of separation. And he quoted from the Sad Goswami Astaka, beautiful prayers about the 6 Goswamis by Srinivasacharya. In the 8th verse, Hey Radhe Vrajadevi Ke Chalalite, Hey Nanda Suno Kutaha. That means, Hey Radhe, Devi, Queen of Vrindavan, Hey Lalite, O Lalita Devi, Hey Nanda Suno, son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, Kutaha, where are you? That was their mood, where are you? And they were wandering all over Vrindavan at Govardhan Hill on the banks of the Yamuna, crying out loudly, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So that is our mood, the mood of separation. But that mood of separation will only arise when we have some attachment. Just like if we're attached to someone and we lose the person's associate. They go away. They may even leave their body. So we feel separation because we had attachment for that person. If we're separated from someone for whom we have no attachment, we won't feel separation. So separation is like crucial to Krishna consciousness, but the basis of that separation is attachment to that personality. And generally, one becomes attached to one spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada, and then to Gaura Nitai, then to Radha Krishna. And that attachment develops by following the process of bhakti yoga without offense. So I mentioned that Lord Chaitanya gave the same instruction 3 times when he was in Jagannath Puri, and the residents of Kulinagram would meet him. And although they were actually very exalted devotees, they presented themselves as materialistic householders. And so they asked Lord Chaitanya, what is our duty as householders, as materialistic persons? And each time, for 3 years, consecutively, Lord Chaitanya gave the same answer, which is, you should chant the holy name and serve the Vaishnavas. This is really the essence of our process. And each year, the residents of Kulinagram, led by Satyaraj Khan, asked, how do we recognize a Vaishnava? Because if we're supposed to serve Vaishnavas, we have to be able to recognize one. So Lord Chaitanya, the first year, said that anyone who chants the holy name once is a Vaishnava. And you should serve him or her. The next year, they asked the same question, he gave the same answer. They further inquired, how do we recognize a Vaishnava? And Lord Chaitanya replied, anyone who is constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord is a Vaishnava. He uses the word nirantara. Nirantara means without cessation. And the third year, same exchange, chant the holy names and serve the Vaishnavas. How do we recognize a Vaishnava? And Lord Chaitanya replied, he whose very presence inspires others to chant the holy name is a Vaishnava. And Srila Prabhupada, quoting his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, explains that the first year, someone who's chanted the holy name once, Lord Chaitanya was referring to a Kanishta Vaishnava. And the second year, someone who's constantly chanting, an advanced devotee who's constantly chanting, that is a Madhyam Vaishnava. And someone, just by seeing him, you become inspired to chant, that's a Uttama Vaishnava. Like Srila Prabhupada, there are there are many examples in Srila Prabhupada's life when, but anyway, I won't go there because we're short of time. But you can take it from me that sometimes a very brief, like he had a brief stopover in Fiji. Anyway, it's too long of a story, but just from that brief stopover, some leading businessmen of Fiji, like they more or less surrendered and began chanting Hare Krishna, and eventually they became disciples, and that led to the establishment of the Krishna Kaliya temple in Lautoka, Fiji, because it's said that after Krishna banished Kaliya from Vrindavan, from the Yamuna River, he ended up in Fiji. So we have the Krishna Kaliya temple there. Now, one thing about Lord Chaitanya is that he's considered the most munificent incarnation of Krishna. Of course, Krishna himself is very merciful. But Lord Chaitanya, that form of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is considered the most munificent. And he was addressed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tuishe Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya. Vadanya, it means munificent, merciful, generous. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Why? Because he is giving Krishna Prema. The greatest treasure he's giving freely, Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema to Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. He's Krishna. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine, but he's known as Krishna Chaitanya. Gaura Tuishe Namaha. And he comes in with a golden complexion. So Srila Prabhupada applied that verse to his, I would say it would apply to every disciple or followers of his, but he applied it specifically to his leaders, like his, GBC men, temple presidents. And he was saying that like Lord Chaitanya, they should be very munificent. That's like part of our job description. We have to be munificent, merciful, generous in Krishna consciousness. So we're completely indebted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to Srila Prabhupada, who brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to us and has mercifully engaged us in their service. Hare Krishna. So we have a few minutes, and I thought if anyone does have any questions or comments, we can keep some time for that. Radha Vinod, Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj, you were talking about serving three types of devotees. So the residents of Huliya Grammar were asking who to serve, how to recognize a Vaishnava, and you described three. So we serve all three?
Yes. We serve all three. I was going to mention that, but it didn't come out of my mouth at the time, but you brought it out of my mouth. Yes. So that means we serve all the three categories of Vaishnavas. Correct.
Equally?
To your utmost. How we serve them will vary, but we should serve them all. It's a general principle that when one meets a devotee who is, you could say, more of a beginner, one is merciful to that person and engages the person and instructs the person. That's also service. Of course, we can serve in so many other ways, but that's also service. And those who are like Madhyam Vaishnavas, we like make friends with them, but we serve them. And those who are Uttama Vaishnavas, well, we serve them. Yeah. Actually, everything, I mean, we make our efforts. That's necessary. But really, everything ultimately depends on mercy. So somehow or other, we want to act in such a way that we are receptacles for Gordon Tai's mercy, for Srila Prabhupada's mercy, for Parampara's mercy. Which reminds me of something I said on Nityananda Trayodasi, but I'll repeat it because I think it's so wonderful. Srila Prabhupada said that to approach Radha and Krishna, one needs the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, one needs the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one has to approach people like Jagai and Madhai. So, there's so many Jagais and Madhais around. There's no dearth of them. And so by approaching them, with Prabhupada's books, with the holy name, with prasad, some form of Krishna consciousness, we get that mercy. Yes.
You said something about Kanishta Adhikari and somebody who chants Hare Krishna just once. Is there an attitude that's associated with that one mantra, or is it just somebody who utters the name and that's it?
Well, that's the purport that Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave. I mean, chanting the holy name of Krishna once is it's not an ordinary thing. I mean, if we go out on the street, how many thousands and millions of people are there who've never chanted Krishna's name even once? But it's also true that if one chants, it's mentioned like in Chaitanya, if you chant the holy name of Krishna once, that means with attention, without offense. Just ek bar, if you just chant the holy name of Krishna once, you can attain all success in Krishna consciousness.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? Without offending?
Without offense. In other words, when we chant, we should really focus on each name, because if we can chant even one name, just one name, with full attention and absorption, we can develop love of Krishna. We should be very attentive in our japa, of course, and in kirtan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you looking for the microphone?
The residents of Kalinagram, I think I remember that also, didn't Mahaprabhu tell them that the definition of a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of non-devotees? Or did, no?
Oh, well, that's also there. So that's another one of the instructions. Asat sang tyaga e Vaishnavachar, Sri Sangi eka sadhu Krishna bhakta ar. Lord Chaitanya says the characteristic behavior of a Vaishnav is asat sang tyagi. He gives up the association of asat. Sat means devotee, so asat means non-devotees. Asat sang tyagi e Vaishnavachar. Then he gives two categories. Stri sangi, one who's attached to women for sense gratification. Eka sadhu and Krishna bhakta are. So one kind of, you could say, unholy association is a man who's attached to women for sense gratification, and the other is someone who's just not a devotee. So that's a bit of in a way you could say it's a subtle point, but that's the instruction. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone here is like Uttama, Uttama, Uttama. And so we can associate with them, we can serve them, we can learn from them, and we can chant and dance with them. All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai.